Who's this sent to?
This
don't antagonize.
This was sent to Joey, and to Brian, and to Tommy Coyle, and to Ralph, the vice president, and to Brad, the secretary. There was also a copy of it sent to his attorneys, letting them know that they were passing out the letter to open to club members. To AA meetings. That's corporate business. As a result from that he was being trespassed if he came back on the property within 90 days. Here he is.
And which one is it?
Tommy, that guy right there. You met him before when he was part of Joey and all the other stuff, trespass. He was escalating down in front of the cars. Yeah.
When was this sent?
This morning.
Okay.
And it was acknowledged because he reached out to another member, Roy, and let him know that he received that. If he came to the club, he would be trespassed. And then he also replied to Ralph, and I've got Ralph's email. I'm going to go ahead and go to the club and get my trespass over with. That's what he said.
You can have that. All right. You just want him. You just want Tommy's trespass.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just go pull up. Just double check it. You ever looked up Sunbiz? No. Okay. Just go look up Sunbiz real quick. We're just gonna verify that he's still like the business executive of it. And then if he is, then yeah, he's got full trespass authority. Okay. So yeah. Just Sunbiz like .gov or whatever it is, like Florida. Hey man, what's up, buddy?
This is why I'm being trespassed. I want this attached to my trespass warrant, please. I want that attached to it. This is why I'm being kicked out. Okay.
Okay.
A model citizen in Orland Beach for 30 years.
I like all of you.
Yeah.
I get him. I get along with all of you.
I help people. This is what I get. So, and I want to get it over with because you're going to have a busy weekend. And I understand that. But this bullshit it's ridiculous, man. You have I can't fucking explain it. But I wanted to get it out of your way because I know it's going to get even busier tonight when the sun goes down. Well, I come to the 8 o'clock meeting, but I'm not allowed to.
All right.
This is hoaxing. You know, I came in last night. There was a kid that I talked to last Sunday at Detox. Where'd he show up? Right here. I said something to that kid, and he showed up here for help. And then I get this. I get kicked out. And he called me a bum last night. And he didn't. All the shit that he said to you about having a meeting last night is a lie. He had this over the phone. I got documentation. I never received that text message from him because he's blocked on my phone. So that's a lie also. Okay? I'm just telling you my side of the story.
The email that he sent?
Yeah, I didn't get that. I don't have
Larson, he's not allowed to do that anyway.
Do what?
He's got to have a board meeting to trespass somebody. He just can't send out an email.
Well, not an email. You got to be here and you got to give it to him.
And that's why I said I have no problem. I know you're going to be busy.
Hey, Ralph.
I know that.
I'm standing here with Tommy and Lieutenant Larson.
Is that the attorney I talked to the other day?
You talked to Ralph Berry, the vice president? So Corey's sitting here telling everybody that he got your approval to trespass Tommy. So I talked to one of
the attorneys you guys hired.
Hold on.
Yeah, that's right here.
This is Ralph Berry. He's the vice president
He's the one
of the club. He did not go along with this. There was no meeting. It's just Corey's email. Ralph?
Okay? And these guys are getting caught up.
You're talking to Lieutenant Larson.
Okay.
Lieutenant?
Hey, I just got here, so I'm just trying to figure out what all's going on.
I guess he passed out some
Who's he?
some paper. Tommy passed out some papers last night and this morning. It was against club policy, from what I understand.
Okay.
The club had a discussion about it. We're supposed to meet for a board meeting to discuss it.
All right.
And it's not against club policy to pass out information. It's a public corporation, Lieutenant Larson.
All right.
Personally, I want to abstain from the vote because they're all friends of mine. Everybody involved, I know.
No, I understand.
And I don't want to be
you're in a rock and a hard place.
So am I.
Yeah, I don't want to be put in a position to violate somebody's freedom of speech is exactly what that is.
Thank you.
He has a right to say what he wants, and he also has a right to be heard at a board meeting. So to expel a guy or suspend a guy because he's trying to voice his opinion, to me, isn't satisfactory, but that's my opinion. The board has to vote on it, and we did have a discussion about it last night. I will say that. We didn't necessarily come to a conclusion until this morning when there was more letters passed out. It is against club policy. However, it's still, I believe, up in the air. A decision was made. Okay, a decision was made. My name was put on an email, and I strongly disagree with my name being put in the front of the email.
Okay.
But two rights don't make a wrong, and I'm going to abstain from it. If I have to relinquish my position, I will do so, because it's not fair to put me in the corner and put me in a spot like that.
No, you're good. I understand. Here, hold on a minute. I'm gonna hand you back.
No, Ralph, I just wanted him to hear the truth, that's all.
Because he violated club policy.
No, there's no policy against passing out any kind of information.
Do a quick 1040.
You know that, it's a public corporation.
Just give him the case number, and then
you can't
just
change
that
the rules
records,
if you can't legally
what I
change the
just
rules.
gave you,
You know that.
and that'll attach to that report.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I
And like I
understand.
said, I know you're busy, and he just lied to you. So that's lying to a police officer.
This is number one. I got out of bed about an hour and a half ago.
You didn't even have coffee yet.
Well, I got up
No,
at
I'm
8
the only
o'clock
one
when
listening.
shit hit the fan
They're
or
over there
7 o'clock
talking
when
in
the
the
shit hit the fan then. And then I went back to bed, and I didn't go home till like 3, so
And you're going to have a busy day today?
yeah, I won't go home till about 1 o'clock tonight. If all goes well.
And I apologize to both of you guys. Okay?
We're not
But
trying to
I
take
need-
the
I need to
corporation
stand
down. We're
my
trying
ground.
to take the corporation back.
The lying
All
that
right,
you
real
just
quick.
told you is lying.
Corey.
I don't want to be near that guy.
All right. Here, come here just quick. I'm just going to talk to both of you.
for Corey to sit here and
All right.
tell lies
So
to the
just-
lieutenant
here,
without
Tom.
anybody contradicting
So,
him, you know?
just so I understand, because I've clarified this with our city attorney, okay? Civil litigation. I'm not getting in the middle of it. I can't get in the middle of it, okay? All the stuff over finances and taxes and
No,
money.
no.
Okay?
No,
If there's
not at
something
all.
criminal later it's discussed, great, we can get involved in
That's
that.
not
But
the
a lot of
case
this
at
right
all.
now
I
is
only
civil.
called you because
So our main job here is
I
to hold the
called you
peace.
because I wanted
I've
you to know
gotten with the
what's
city
going on
attorney,
with the version that
and as long as he's on Sunbiz, and as long as he is the identified agent of the
That's the only reason.
entity, okay? Until that's changed, he is still the agent. He has the authority to trespass through our city attorney. Now that doesn't mean that if you handle things civilly and something changes down the road, then we will adapt to that. But as a direction I've been given, okay, after sitting with with our city attorney and actually being on the phone with the attorney you guys hired and discussing it with them, he was in the understanding of how we got to where we are. You don't have to like it, but he does have the authority to trespass.
I have no problem with it.
Okay, so
They have sorted it
our
out.
job, I appreciate and love the fact that this place provides help, but whatever you guys have, just got to work out somehow civilly.
Okay, I gotta go.
But he does have the authority to do
talk
that.
to you later.
I'm totally okay with that.
We have
What's
a
that?
path that they can come back.
I don't want to come back.
Oh, they did.
The pathway is they come
Because
before
you're
a
absolutely
board
happy.
meeting and the club
Okay.
members, and they can present their case
Sure.
and ask for reinstatement, and we will rescind everything.
Lieutenant
They-
Larson, may I
they
say
won't come
something
back.
finally? I never got to say anything tonight I was here.
Go ahead.
First of all, the police report that you guys filled out on me is completely incorrect. I never went inside the club that night, so I'm going to have well, my lawyers have already contacted the city about that.
Okay.
The second part is, any changes that Mr. Romaniak has made are illegal because he was never duly elected as the president of the club. So the lawsuit is to bring the records before the court,
Okay.
to have him expunged and moved out of here. I'll bring somebody up here every 3 hours, so he has to drive down from Palm Coast to trespass him. I don't care. You can do whatever you want. It doesn't matter.
Here's
Because we are
the
gonna
situation. I've got
take care of the
there's been
situation.
2 elections duly recorded in minutes
Okay.
and meetings. We've got all that document. Why don't you
Okay.
talk to Melissa? She would tell you the same thing
Again,
several
I'll-
times.
That's why she
I had
quit.
lunch with Melissa Friday.
That's
Okay.
She
good.
quit.
I'll-
That's good.
She's a
I'll,
crooked.
I'll civil. I can't get in the middle of.
So
Crooked.
But it's
Of how
very
you run- how
analogy.
you run
Also,
the-
the one thing the police department doesn't understand, and the lawyer for the police department doesn't understand, the Easy Does It Club Incorporated is a public corporation. Every
We are
member,
a private
Tommy,
501c4,
me,
brother.
everybody owns a
No,
share
sir.
of that
No,
company.
you
Are you guys
you've
trying to
been
leave?
revoked.
Yeah, because you had to
All right,
get,
we'll be
you had
done
to
just
get
a
your
minute.
way.
You've been revoked.
No, we don't.
Okay.
Can't revoke us.
Yeah,
All I know is
you
that
trespassed
when we had
before
hold on. So when we had the group conversation between the city attorney and the attorney y'all had, he was an understanding.
No, he agreed because we're working on other stuff. That doesn't matter. We
Right,
already
yeah, I'm
talked
saying,
about
but he
that.
understood
That's fine.
why
If you
we
wanna
were
trespass
where
Tommy,
we're
Hold
at.
on, shut the fuck up.
Hold on.
If you want to trespass Tommy, that's fine. We'll go. I just
Right.
wanted to talk to you in
Look
person. I had a
forward
chance to
my
come
day
see you.
in court.
No, you're
That's
good.
all. We're not trying to cause any problems.
I know you're not. I'm good with all of you.
You know, it's legal. It's going to be come down to July 14th. There's going to be a court order for him to disappear. So,
Okay.
you know, we'll just keep coming down here until we get trespassed everybody in the building.
If that's what it takes, Joey. I got the will. I got the power in the will.
Yeah, you got the power. Power stuffed up your ass.
What can I do for you? Are you just trying to get into a car?
Seems that my girlfriend's trying to get in the car.
Thank you very much.
You're good.
Appreciate it.
No, you're good.
My question is,
wasting your time.
can I just
Take care,
trespass
man.
with a phone call, or do I got to come down here, or can any board member do that? The rules are pretty clear.
Well, if you're telling them to and they're on the phone, they can just put us on the phone. You've got the authority.
So I ain't got to come down in person.
No, you don't have to actually.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
By the way, can I talk to you for a second?
Yeah, man. I'll talk to all of you.
You had. I don't want these fuckheads over here listening.
Okay.
So how do we initiate criminal investigation? Because you had told me that Sergeant Dovine was going to. Because what we found out is that lady right there, Donna.
The one in the red?
Donna, the one that said I came in and told her to get the fuck out, which I never.
Oh, the one sitting down with the tattoos?
No, she's sitting there right now. She's right there behind that PT Cruiser.
Oh, okay.
She was the club manager. This is what started all because Corey was paying her under the table. Remember?
Yeah.
Well, she signed a bunch of checks and took the money out of the bank account. Now that we found out, but we can't do anything because we can't get in the fucking building because of this asshole trespassing us. So how do we start a criminal investigation? She signed checks. She paid herself through the end of August, and she's quit.
So the lady paid herself money?
She signed checks to herself.
Okay.
Forged Corey's
like
signature.
Like without doing any work?
She
or without
forged
doing
Corey's.
just-
She supposedly volunteered, never got paid. Right? Remember? That's the whole thing. We tried to get. He's paying her rent, $600 a month rent, right here for this shithole trailer. And so she wouldn't have to pay income tax because supposedly she has a railroad pension. This is the whole thing. When we had a board meeting in February, we're like, you can't do that. He said,
What was
I
the
can do
lady's
that.
name?
Donna Martin. And supposedly she has signed checks. That's her Jeep right there. He bought her that Jeep, Corey did.
All right.
She signed checks paying herself through the end of August, signing Corey's name to them. And now that he won't let anybody, Ralph, the guy you were just talking to on the phone,
Yeah.
he has access to the bank account. He called me this morning and told me, but he's like, oh, I don't want to really get involved. I'm like, well, if you don't stand for something, people will walk all over you and steal your money. And,
They don't
you
stand
know,
for nothing. Then you fall.
right, you
Off
fall
the
for
record,
everything.
that guy's a pussy.
So we're not trying to be disruptive. We're not trying to waste your time.
No, you're not.
These guys are stealing our money, and they're using you to block us from getting into the books. Basically, that's the problem. So we have to go to an attorney, which takes a long time, and I'm spending this money out of my pocket. You think I would want to spend this money out of my pocket if it didn't mean something to me?
Yeah.
So I've been part of this club for
So
17 years.
Is Donna still a member, or does she?
I don't know what she does now. She was the club manager. I don't know what she does. If she's a member or a club manager or whatever she is.
Okay.
But
let me get with Sergeant Dovine, and then we got a staff meeting tomorrow, and he'll be there.
You know, and we've reported it to the IRS. We're waiting on them to come back. We've called the Florida Department of Revenue. They referred us to the Department of Agriculture because they oversee 501Cs. What you have to understand, Corey doesn't understand it because I have a 501C license. I'm a CAM.
Right.
A 501C is the same as a condominium homeowners association, right? So let's say
Put that tag
that's
in
it
the
right
call.
there. That's it.
Put that tag in the call.
AR3 6BH. If you owned a condo, right where I used to work,
Right.
which is the same as me paying $50 for a membership, I can't trespass you.
Yeah, you can trespass from.
No, if
well,
you
not-
were
not for
violent,
your
if
residence,
you're
yeah.
getting arrested,
Yeah,
if
not
you're
for
getting
your-
arrested or something,
It's
right?
still your residence.
But you're a resident, you could have every right to come to a board meeting. Unless the bylaws, you violate the bylaws, then I could put you before the board and say, Sergeant Larson, you can't, or Lieutenant Larson, you cannot come to a meeting. You can send email responses or whatever.
Right.
But he never did any of that. He just called you and said, trespass. I've never touched anybody here. I haven't had a ticket since 2006. I live right down the road.
I'm not worried about anything. Like
I'm
that.
just
That's
saying
none
it's
of
just
that.
aggravating for us because the money, once it's gone, you know it's hard to get it back.
Oh, I know.
You know, so the money has been disappearing. He supposedly is building a new house up in Flagler. You know, there was the whole story behind this. There was $220,000 in the bank for the corporation, for the club. And the guy that owns this building is Jack Kimball, you know, Kimball Electric. You might know him. He knows the mayor very well. And Jack wanted to sell the building. So we gave him $190,000 down and financed the rest for a mortgage. Well, the 60 grand that's in the bank, Corey has complete control of it all by himself. And her. because she's forging checks off of his signature. Because Ralph went on the bank account this morning and looked, and he said there's some suspicious looking checks on it. And I said, well, and he also paid herself through the end of the month, August, not this month.
Right.
So it's just, that's why we're frantically trying to
Quickly do it before it goes away.
right.
You're good. I understand.
You know.
But I forwarded all the information to Dovine and the
Corey
city
runs around
attorney
and tells everybody, you know, all of this blatant lies. Like the night I was out here, you know, I never went in the club. You guys never asked any of my witnesses. I never went in the club. I've never said a word to that woman in my life. I've never talked to her. And it says on the thing that I told her to go
she's
fuck
never,
off.
Well,
You know.
they can report stuff, but unless she really comes forward with some allegations.
Well, I understand, but
we're not
to
even getting
me,
in the middle
you
of
know,
it.
and for me, it's not as personal to me. But Brian, the other guy, he's very hurt the fact that he has a trespass on his record. That bothers him, you know. And some
Well,
people
it's
it
not
bothers,
even,
and
well, it's not even like it's not a criminal record.
I understand that,
Yeah.
but he doesn't. He thinks it's like he's a
Yeah, I know.
misdemeanor. You know, he's very upset about that. And I'm like, Brian, I you know, so I just whatever.
Can we pull this truck up so we can get...
I'll move it when I'm ready. I'm just finish up the conversation with him real quick, and I'm leaving.
Anyways, I don't want to keep you guys any more than you need to be here because there's probably arch criminals at work somewhere.
No, you're good. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
No, man. Call me anytime. I'll just
We're moving.
I'll just meet you at Sanchez. Why don't you just wait a second before she hits my truck, and I'll just get out of her way.
Thank you, kid.
He's gonna move the truck.
Yeah, we're good. Hold on, let me move before this lady hits my truck. I'll just pull right here.
So I live in that, you know, the little trailer park there. Yeah, behind Sunoco.
Yeah.
These guys sit in Frida's
Frida's parking lot?
up against New Britain and fucking do drug deals and sell drugs there all day long.
We say these guys, who just...
There's a guy in a like a
When you say these guys, you're not talking about these guys. You're talking some other people.
just random.
Okay.
And a guy in a white like SUV. And I went to the cop shop to tell him, and the older guy that was working at the window was like, holy shit. He's like, well, who is it? You don't want to give your name? I'm like, no, I don't want to give my fucking name. Are you kidding me? They're selling drugs. No. But it's all day long. All the time.
The white SUV's the dealer?
That's one of them, and like a sedan kind, an older sedan kind of car. I don't know what it is.
You know what color?
I think it's red.
Okay.
But they're there all the time. And they look sketchy as shit.
Okay.
Like you can tell. Like you can look at them and go, that guy's probably got meth.
Are they along the bush line or are they closer to
Yeah,
Frida's?
no, it's the bush line.
Okay, I'll take care of it.
Because like my trailer, when you come in between the two white picket fences,
Uh-huh.
is directly across from like the bank drive-through.
Yep.
So anytime I have to come home or leave or whatever, they're right fucking there, and I'm sick of it.
Okay.
And I literally watched a guy on a motorcycle.
I may have a direct line to somebody that can handle that.
Okay.
So I'll give it the drug unit and start working on that.
These guys gotta run me over. They're already mad enough at me.
I get mad at people get mad at me all the time, so I'm not worried about people.
It's so fucked up that they have to bother you with shit. Like, come on, man. You can't play nice so hard.
I know. I was here till like 2 o'clock last night, and then went home, and then I woke up at 7 for some fiasco that happened then, and then I tried to lay back down. I was in bed for an hour, and I got up, and then I finally said, "To hell with it. I'll just come to work." And I was putting my boots on when they called and said, "Hey, they're requesting you here." And I was like, let me tie my boots up really fast, and
Friend Tom,
I was like-
my buddy. I'm like, get the fuck out.
I was like, let me tie my boots a little bit faster.
It's
So.
bullshit. I was with my sponsor. I'm like, what the fuck?
It's all good.
Bravo 10, Bravo 53 on top. 10 Bravo 5 Central.